From Darling Stadium in Hampton, WHCS Cable Channel 46 presents Peninsula District Football, the Kecoughtan Warriors and the Hampton Crabbers. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for tonight's contest between the Kecoughtan Warriors with a 1-6 overall record, taking on the Hampton Crabbers with a 6-1 overall record. Teams head in opposite directions, Bob. Well, I'm going to have to get these things fixed. It's chilly out here tonight.
Well, and you're losing a lot of heat from the top there. But with the wind tonight, I think it's going to have a big effect on what the outcome of tonight's ball game. And first of all, you have to look at is the special teams, and especially the kicking game. Kecoughtan's kicking game is really not good. As it shown last week, it really hurt them. Coach Austin said he had to change punters because the other punter was a good punter, but just took too long to get the ball off, so he got a one-step punter, but he's not as good. Didn't get any block, but the last position they had, it was about a 6-yarder, so that really hurt him. You look over at Hampton, Whitehead, good kicker, kicks off well, got a good leg, he kicks good extra points. So and they got a good punter. So you look at that aspect of the game with the win tonight, that might make a big difference in how Kecoughtan, what kind of field position they're going to end up with.
Well, it certainly puts you in a hole right off the bat when your special teams and your kicking game in particular haven't been very effective. Just that alone, on a regular night, without one where the wind is blowing as strongly as it is tonight, and it's going a good 25 miles an hour,
right,
making it feel chillier than it is. It's a perfect night for football players.
Football weather.
You're going to love this, but the wind will be a factor tonight. But let's move on to the fact that you and I have talked about this young man, Alan Backus, and you got Alvin Banks. You got two of the premier running backs, and I'm not slighting Mr. Johnson over at Heritage in any way, but
or Mr. McCride over at Phoebus.
And you can name a few more, and Ananias Boyd and on and on. But these two guys are the mainstay of their running attacks for their respective teams.
Right, they really are. But one thing that Hampton has is they have a little more depth, because Wyatt can run the ball. Even though he's a quarterback, he was a tailback, so he is a good runner. And then they have a young man, Fenner, that they pull back at fullback along with Solomon Bassett. So they've got some fullbacks. And I think they got a better bevy of runners than Kecoughtan does. Now, Kecoughtan's got some good runners too, but they don't have the experience and the productivity that the Hampton Crabber runners have.
Well, they just haven't had the same success. When you're up 40-6, you can bring these other guys in. Right. See, when you're always trailing in a game or struggling in a game, that becomes a bigger factor for you. So they don't get that experience. You can't go as deep into your band. Let's face it, over the years, Hampton just seems to attract the depth. They're able to build these kids from the times they're freshmen and sophomores. By the time they get to be juniors and seniors, they've got backups that are also freshmen and sophomores, so it's kind of an ongoing cycle. But Alvin Banks brings that running game to the Crabbers with the other people you talked about. Alan Backus to the Kecoughtan Warriors. Quarterbacking, Matt Cross played a good game last week at quarterback.
Yeah, well, the only thing that hurt Matt was he had open receivers, and he just didn't have the touch. He would overthrow him a little bit. But, I mean, he's going to get better, and I know he will get better, but tonight's not a good night for him with the wind the way it is. You got to throw a ball with a little more steam on it so the wind doesn't affect it so much. But, that's going to happen. We watched Wyatt struggle in the very first game at Heritage throwing the ball, did not get a completion. Since then, he's come around, he's really good. But I think Hampton doesn't have to throw the ball tonight. I think they can run the ball and win the ball game tonight, and I think the key for Kecoughtan is their defense. They're going to have to set up a defense to be able to stop Hampton. And I want to talk about both defense tonight. And I'll talk about Kecoughtan. First of all, they got Corey Davis and Sampler at the tackles, Ross and McDonald at the ends. And they run a 4-linebacker set just like the Crabbers do. They've got Manny Anderson, Vance Bila, Gerard Mayo, and Alan Backus, the aforementioned runner. Now, those are the linebackers. Those are the kids that's probably going to make the bulk of the tackles tonight. And if the defensive secondary are making the tackles against Hampton, it's going to be a real long night. Now, you look at Hampton's defense, and you can't slight them. Always been good. They got big Stephen Williams at one of the tackles, along with Charles Jones at the ends, Travis Creighton and Leonard Johnson. And they have 4 linebackers, 2 linebackers, Wilson Banks Jr. and Darrell and Fenner, who we've seen play an excellent game night in, night out. And then Larry Callis and Andrew Schuler, the 2 outside linebackers, whose responsibility on pass defense is drop back into the flat. So you have 8 men up in the line of scrimmage, but boom, you could have four backers that are back there in pass defense, and that's going to make a really problem with Matt Cross, because he's not the kind of running quarterback that Stephen Wyatt is.
No question. Right now we're going to go back in time. Bob had a chance to talk with head coach Mike Smith of the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, first of all, Mike, congratulations on your season so far. This first night that really is almost like football weather. It's down and it's about 30 degrees different than it was yesterday. And I usually ask you about your players if everybody's healthy, but I'm glad to see you're standing okay, because the other day you were having trouble with your leg. But how's the team doing?
Well, first of all, I like the warm weather. I like it more like last week. We're healthy, I think. We've had a good week of practice. Last couple of weeks we've gone back and spent a lot more time just on team concept, I think, on defense. But we've had a good year so far. You know, we've blumbled and stumbled a couple of times, but we've got a great group of kids that's worked hard, and we're having fun.
Well, that's the key, is the kids are having fun and they're learning and they're progressing, and that's what you want. But defensively, your team has always been pretty up to the top in the district in defense.
Well, we're playing good defense. I think our objective of defense is a little bit different than a lot of people. A lot of people's job, you know, they feel like is to reduce the amount of yardage they get. Of course, you don't want to give up a lot of yardage, because when you start doing that, you give up time possession of the ball. But the main objective to me in defense is don't let them cross that last line. Yeah. And so the end result is whoever gives up the fewest point usually wins, you know. And to me, that's the indication of a good defense. It's some people play attack and defense, some people play a reading defense. We're more reading and more on a contained type of defense. Right. Sometimes we haven't been contained real good this year, but overall we've got a great group of kids that run well and play hard, and you know, and they work hard together, and they're good kids, and we're having a good time. We're enjoying it.
Well, good enough. Well, good luck to you tonight, Coach.
Thanks, Bob.
Good. All right, let's go back to Tim.
Well, the Hampton defense over the years, Bob's, has been the mainstay. Now, you know, they always have a good offense as well, right, but defense wins you football games and championships. And the Hampton defense, you know, Mike, talking about the team, that's a very good point. You can go 80 yards, but if you can't put it across the goal line, it doesn't really matter.
Right, and we have talked about this for a long, long time, how Hampton's defense will bend, and you get down around the 20, what they call the red zone, and you just can't get the ball in. And, of course, a good point is that you don't want to let the other team have possession of the ball and you never get time to run your plays. But defensively, Hampton is a team that is, I think they're just going to be too strong tonight. I really do.
Now, on the other side of the coin, we watched a very good ball game, one of the best games we've had in a long time, with Bethel and Kecoughtan last week. Kecoughtan loses that heartbreaker, and I know you're going to have a chance to address that with Coach Austin. But, boy, that had to be a tough loss for Kecoughtan to come so close. They played so well, and they just couldn't quite put it all together.
Well, it's something that he had talked about the week before. Not this week, but the week before last, before they played Bethel. He says, we have shot ourselves in the foot. He said, if you look at the time possession, we are leading every game that we played. We've had the ball more, run more plays than the other team, and we just are having trouble scoring. And when that happens, what are you going to do, right?
That's it.
I mean,
well,
tough.
It is tough. We're going to go back in time one more time, as Bob had a chance to talk with head coach Tommy Austin of the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Well, first of all, Coach, tough loss last week. I mean, you dominated 3/4 of the game. I mean, had it, and then somebody snatched it right away from you. That's how do you deal with the kids on something like that? Because that's a game I think you should have won.
Well, and we think so too. And it's one of those situations where at the end of the game, you know, of course they were hurt and frustrated, but at least they knew they had played hard and what they're, we've been telling them all year, this is the kind of thing you're capable of doing. And we finally showed it against a good football team. And, we're hoping that's going to carry over for the last 3 games of the season. But, they were frustrated, but they knew that they were close. And we've been close, but, you can sit there and pick at this mistake and that mistake, and it'll drive you crazy. So we didn't do that. We built on the things that we did right this week and, try to get ready for the Crabbers.
Yeah, well, and that's always a big thing. But that's a good point that you made about, stressing the positives and to get away from the negatives, because the kids hear that all the time anyway.
Sure.
And, but, one of the things that I have noticed is the young man, Alan Backus, is really running hard. And then he plays almost the entire game. He's not on special teams. It's the only thing he's not out there.
Well, we pulled him off special teams about 3 or 4 weeks ago because we felt like we were going to wear him out. I mean, we try to monitor the number of carries he gets. We don't feel like he can give us 35 or 40 carries a game and still play defense, and he's valuable to our defense, and he's very valuable to us on offense, and he seems to run without a great deal of effort, and he's done very, very well. We're very pleased and surprised because we didn't see that in preseason, and came on in the Nansemond River game, and he's just gotten better and better every week, and we're just glad he's a junior.
I hear that.
Very glad he's a junior.
Good. Well, listen, good luck to you tonight,
Thanks,
Coach.
I appreciate it very much.
Okay, stay tuned for tonight's starting lineups.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Sue's with 14 convenient medicinal locations. And by Pearls, located at 15 North Mallory in Hampton, Phoebus rather, 722-1907. And the game brought to you in part by Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, located at Hampton Center Parkway at Armstead Avenue. Give them a call at 827-4670. Back here at Darling Stadium, as the teams have arrived on the field, and Bob, we've talked a little bit about the weather for tonight's contest. The temperature isn't horribly cold, but the wind is going to be moving, as you look at the field, from left to right at a pretty good pace. Now,
yeah, pretty good.
The difference here may be that it's not gusting; it's downright blowing.
Yeah,
consistently. You can see the flags in your picture.
It is a steady wind, which might help you better than if you're throwing into one that's gusting.
But it's going to make it tough on the quarterbacks tonight. There's no question about that.
That's true. Tim, we are going to pick a player of the game for both of these teams tonight, and that player receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Engraving Inc. They're located at Tab Square on Route 17. For all your engraving needs, contact Dave Buckwalder at 596-8850. The shirt comes from the Islander Sporting Goods, and they're located in Pecoughtan. They can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment, uniforms, plus screen printing. Give Dave Chubb a call at 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner.
We're about set to have the opening game ceremonies. The officials are just about set. There you see the officials for tonight's contest. Referee is Charlie Davidson, the husband of a friend of mine from the Daily Press. Don Mulhauer is the umpire. The linesman is Dave Stollard. Line judge is Philip Mitchell. The back judge is Don Foreman. And the field judge for tonight's contest is George Webster. Let's go down and listen to the pregame ceremony.
Captain Wyatt. And for the Kecoughtan Warriors, we have Captain Thompson, number 15, Captain Allen, number 7, Captain King, number 3, and Captain Miles, number 81. Shake hands, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the field for the Kecoughtan Warriors as captains, number 3, Raphael King. Number 7, Andrew Allen. Number 15, Terrence Thompson.
Okay, guys, as captains of your team, we will need your help if anything comes up. If we have a sportsmanship problem or we're getting into it, we will come to you, white or green, and ask for you to take care of it. If you don't take care of it and we have to, you're not going to like the results. Okay, penalty situations. Let me explain the penalty to you. Some penalties have several options. Once you decide what you want, make sure you understand it. Once you give me your choice, we have to go with it. Okay, you're the visitor. Who's going to call it? You going to call it? Okay, we have a head and a tail. Regular coin. Call it while it's in the air, loud enough so we can all hear it. If I drop it, I'll flip it again. Heads was called. Heads. It is a head. It is a head. You want to defer, okay? You want the ball. Which goal do you want to defend? You want to kick this way? Okay, put your backs over there. You come over here with me. Hampton has won the toss and deferred to the second half. Kecoughtan will be receiving. Okay, guys, shake hands and have a good game.
I want to thank referee Charlie Davidson for doing such a thorough job of explaining all the options. The Crabbers have won the toss, but have deferred to receive the ball to start the second half, and they will take advantage of the aforementioned wind.
Yeah, if I'm going to defend the goal, I want that wind to my back at the beginning. That means the kickoff, you should put Kecoughtan in a situation where they've got to go at least 80 yards to score.
Well,
Get a chance, excuse me, Tim, get a chance. We will give you the offense and defense.
And as I said, besides the wind, it also, Hampton likes to go on defense and force the other team to, while they might be a little nervous, have to execute on offense.
Well, that's a good point. And we got Whitehead, who I talked about during the pregame, Tim. Good foot, really kicks the ball well. As we can see, one of our fans is already taking a little bit of a nap, but chilly tonight with the we got Kecoughtan offense coming up, so we'll watch that.
Well, they've got the Kecoughtan defense up there, Bob.
Well, we don't want the defense. We want the offense. I think that is that offense? There we go.
All right. That is the offense, and we'll go over that for you in just a second. The ball is in the air, and Whitehead's kick is fielded at the 3-yard line by Ralph King. King has the ball knocked out of his hands, but it looks like the Warriors did cover the loose ball near the 20-yard line. Let's try and give you the offense for the Warriors. I'll just run down them for you real quickly here. We had the offensive lineup, but we had the defense word on there. But in any event, it is all right. Here we'll have it for you in just 1 second. And here are the Warriors on offense. The center is Gaddis. The guards are McCormick and Davis. The tackles are going to be Hammond and Davis. Tight end is Mayo. The split end is Harris. King is your wide out. Your quarterback is Matt Cross. Terrence Thompson's the fullback, and Alan Backus is the tailback. And now we've got a flag before we get the first playoff.
I think it's what we got is illegal substitution, Tim.
12 men on the field for the Warriors, and these are the types of things that drive a coach crazy.
I mean, you've already put yourself in a hole. You've got the ball
on the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
I didn't mean to be talking over the official, but now you're 1st and 15 against a tough team, and you're going right into a tough win.
Matt Cross over the center. He wants to throw and does so to the near side, completes the pass, and across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. That is Carter Jones on the receiving end.
Well, Tim, that was a good call and a headsy call right at the beginning. Here you see the Crabber defense, Williams and Jones at the tackles, Creighton and Johnson the ends. Linebackers Banks and Fenner. The outside backers are Callis and Schuler. The corners are Williams and Brown. And the safety is Travis Richmond.
Picked up almost 10 on the play. Second down and about, let's call it 6. Hand off right up the middle. This is Alan Backus.
Well, I don't know who got the ball, Tim, but he ran right into number 44, linebacker Fenner.
Backus got yardage to the 27-yard line. Warriors need to get to the 29.
Got a flag, Tim, and it's against the Warriors.
So the gain by Backus may be nullified by the penalty. Let's see how they call it.
We have an illegal shift on the offense,
Illegal
5
motion
yards from the
against
previous
the Warriors.
spot. Repeat, second down.
And they'll accept the penalty, will the Crabbers, and that'll make it second down and 11. So 2 penalties early in the going here are slowing the Warriors down, and they can't afford to make these kind of mistakes against a good team like Hampton. Carter Jones split wide to the right. Cross wants to pass, has good time, tipped in the air, and is it caught or intercepted? Let's see how they rule this. Hampton says they've got it. No, they say Kecoughtan.
Well, what happens if both players come down with it at the same time? They're going to give it to the offensive player, Tim, but that ball was almost intercepted.
Ralph King was the intended receiver and did eventually control the reception. So he catches the ball at the 25, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Warriors. So they've had some real near misses here early in the ballgame. Watch the replay here. You'll see what we're speaking of. So a good-looking pass, but the ball was tipped
by one of the linebackers, and I believe that was Fenner again, Tim, number 44.
In motion is Jared Mayo. Now he sets to the right. And now Andrew Wilson is on the near side, and the ball carrier is not going to get the yardage as Backus is tripped up at about the 27-yard line, so he'll be a couple of yards short of the 1st down. The actual mark appears to be closer to the 26, and that'll make it 4th down and a long 3, and the Warriors will bring on the kicking team, and that will mean Ryan Miller will be in deep punt formation, and back deep for the Crabbers will be one man, Will Jennings.
Well, Tim, again, Fenner was in the backfield. He hit the quarterback cross just as he was handing that ball off. 3 times in a row, 3 defensive things, and Fenner was in there.
46-yard line is where the ball goes out of bounds. That's the Warrior 46, and immediately the wind is a factor as Miller's kick went relatively short and went out of bounds.
Here we go with
just 20 yards.
Crabber offense. We've got Wilson at center, Small and Williams at guards, Allen and Creighton at tackles, tight end Pugh, flanker Jennings, wideout McClone, quarterback Wyatt, fullback Bassett, and the tailback is Alvin Banks.
First down at the Kecoughtan 46. This is Alvin Banks, and he is going to be tripped up for a loss at midfield, and again in on the stop as we've already seen him in previous Kecoughtan games. Manny Anderson got him by the ankles and tripped him for a 4-yard loss to midfield.
Well, that shows you some speed of Anderson, Tim, because he plays on the left side of the Kecoughtan line. Manny.
And speaking of that defense, we're going to show it to you in just a moment. And here are the Warriors on defense. The tackles are Corey Davis and Jamar Sumter. Ed Ross and McDonald are the ends. The outside backers are Mayo, Backus. The other linebackers are Anderson and Biala. And the corners are Justin Green and Dante Edwards, and Ralph King is the safety for Tommy Austin's Kecoughtan Warriors. We've got another penalty. This is illegal procedure against the Crabbers. So neither team has come out looking sharp early in the contest. 8:28 left in the first quarter.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Not sure you can hear Charlie Davidson, but the signal rather clear. A 5-yard infraction before the snap of the ball, so that moves it back to the 45-yard line, and that makes it 2nd down and about 19 to go. Need to get all the way down to the Kecoughtan 36. Stephen Wyatt over center. Straight back, wants to pass, has some good protection. Throws long, he's got a man open, but overthrows him. And again, the wind a factor. This time, too much wind.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about when you and I were standing down there for the pregame discussion. That's the problem. It's, in my opinion, it's probably better to throw into the wind for short passes. If you're throwing long with the wind, it's going to be very difficult to gauge.
If you put the ball up in the air like he did that time for the runner to run underneath it, that wind is just going to carry it about probably 5 to 10 yards further down than what you normally would have seen. Good pass, good route, but just it's hard to judge.
3rd down and 19 out of the shotgun. Wyatt wants to throw, and this one was almost picked off by Ralph King. Had a good shot at it. In fact, he kind of looked downfield just as it came to him. I think he was a little less aware of putting that ball away first and then worrying about running it. He had visions of going backward towards the Crabbers with that interception.
Yeah, and I think he was, Tim, but that, again, the pass that time kind of sailed on Stephen Wyatt.
Aaron Whitehead will stand back and kick the ball. A flag down on the play.
We had a young man that was moving in the backfield for the Crabbers.
Crabbers' punt is touched at about the 21 or 22-yard line, but a penalty flag. And we got illegal motion against the Crabbers. I'm wondering if you're Tommy Austin, you might just take that ball.
Well, you know, a lot of things could happen. You could have a bad snap. You know, the punter could not kick it well. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen. But, you know, if you're Kecoughtan, you know, let's make them kick it again. Maybe something will happen for us.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. I'm thinking he might launch a 60-yarder with this wind. And,
well,
he might, 5 yards from the previous spot to be 4th down.
But you got to.
Sure, I understand.
If you're Tommy Austin, Tim, you have nothing to lose.
Well, we saw that. We saw that last week when he pulled out the fake punt.
Fake punt, yeah.
And kept the drive alive and led that game 12-0. But
and they got 10 men on the line of scrimmage going to the block.
Yep. And they almost blocked it. And there's contact made and a penalty flag down. And that kick that we talked about, the 60-yarder I told you about, is going to be downed at the 1-yard line if, in fact, they don't get the ball. It depends on whether it's roughing or it is going to be a personal foul. This may be an automatic first down. But you see what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Now you would have had the ball at the 2 instead of the 22.
You know.
Hindsight is always 20-20.
No, but you mentioned that before, that, you know, if he could get it, but you could see they were going for the block.
And they almost got it, but unfortunately for the Kecoughtan Warriors.
Foul, roughing the kicker on the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot.
It is an automatic first down. I didn't want to talk over Charlie, but the point here was if they got the ball, great play, but they didn't get the ball. They got the kicker, and they got the 15-yard automatic first down. So the Crabbers benefit greatly from the miscue from the Warriors. Watch the replay here. You're going to see the ball as it'll just be touched inside the 2-yard line. But that's of a mute point, if you will, because the roughing the kicker penalty has given them the ball, and now Hampton has called a timeout.
There's the punt again, and you can see he got hit just as he was let go. Pearls has been in business since 1947. They have it all: drapes, carpets, tile, vinyl, blinds, both mini and vertical, custom designed for your needs. Pearls is located at 15 North Mallory in Phoebus. Give them a call at 722-1907. The president is John West, and the vice president is Rita Barker. They are the authorized Mohawk and Armstrong carpet dealers.
All right, the Warriors on defense now. Crabbers benefiting from the personal foul, roughing the kicker. And the Crabbers with a first down at the Kecoughtan 45. This is a straight handoff up the middle to number 44. That is Darylyn Fenner. And he gets maybe a yard as a Kecoughtan defense. We saw them last week. They played very well against the Bruins of Bethel. And they led that game into the fourth quarter. Gain of 2 on the play. Second down, and let's call it 8. Chilly night at Darling Stadium. This game videotaped for your pleasure on the 26th of October, 2001. This is Stephen Wyatt getting close to a first down. He'll be a couple of yards short as Wyatt picks up 6. 6:50 remaining here in a scoreless first quarter. Hampton 6-1 on the season. Kecoughtan just the reverse, 1-6. Late substitution coming on for the Warriors. That is Corey C. Davis. We have a couple of Corey Davises.
Yeah, well, they call one of them Big Corey and the other Little Corey.
Well, I know why they call him Big. 6'4", 320. Big Corey just came on.
That must be Big Corey.
That's Big Corey. And a good stop on Alvin Banks, who got to the 40, check that 36-yard line, needed to get to the 35, and the Warrior defense stood him up after a gain of about a yard, and that'll bring up fourth down and about a yard to go. Watch the replay here. You're going to see a fine defensive effort in the middle of that line. Banks has just stood up at the 36-yard line.
Well, that was Tillery at the linebacker spot, and I believe it was McDonald who plays the deep. Yeah, John McDonald, 76.
Fourth and a yard. Hampton And they have to call timeout. They tried to get the Warriors to jump off, and nobody moved. And now the Crabbers burned their second timeout here in the first period with 5:45 to go.
I want to talk a little bit about the coaches. Mike Smith is assisted by Alvis Mann, Danny Mitchell, Lanny Franklin, Kenny Gilliam, Brian Gerzak, Mike Hagans, Mike Morton, Myron Newsom, and Shannon Smith. Tommy Austin is assisted by Dan Thompson, Matt Engel, Corey Thomas, Al Morrow, Chuck Hope, Chuck Broche, Monroe Wells, Andy Johnson, and Chris Morant.
4th down and a yard to go as you look across the field at the Hampton huddle. Not a big gamble here when you consider the ball is at the 35-yard line. The crowd on both sides of the field tonight held down from the reduced temperature, if you will.
Well, yesterday it was in the low 80s. Today, daytime was in the low 60s tonight. With
Definitely
in the
upper
50s,
40s.
with the wind chill factor, probably more than that. Now, there's a close.
I don't think they got it. I'm going to watch and see where they mark it. He didn't get it. It's going to be Hampton giving the ball over to the Warriors.
Yeah, because he had to get it to the 35.
Oh, he missed it by a yard. The defense does the job for the Warriors. Tommy Austin's team has just played very well the last 2 weeks. There you see the replay, and did not get to the 35, which is what he had to get to. But Kecoughtan played extremely well. They shut down a Bethel offense that's very explosive for 3 quarters last week.
Yes, they did.
So now the Warriors on offense will try and get on track. Matt Cross is your quarterback.
Well, this is one of the things that Tommy Austin feels is his defense has been a whole lot better than the offense. Nice catch.
Beautiful catch over the middle. That is, well, give me a 44 here.
44, Ed Ross.
Ed Ross, okay.
Yeah, he sometimes starts at the tight end, and sometimes it's Mayo. But tonight they started Mayo. But Ed Ross, as you watch on the replay.
Well, hold the Mayo and add the Ross, right?
Well, there you go. Did a great job.
All the way down to the Hampton 45-yard line. Ed Ross gets the first down on the completed pass from Matt Cross. In motion is Andrew Allen. Handoff goes to Backus, and Backus has no place to go. Bounces outside, the ball kick loose. Ed Ross might have recovered it for the Warriors. Backus uncharacteristically giving up the football, but it looks like Ed Ross was able to cover the loose ball, so they'll end up losing about 3 on the play. But more importantly, for the Warriors, they keep possession. That would have been disastrous after a big game like that.
Yeah, it really would. Backus was trying to bounce the ball. As you watch, he's trying to bounce it to the outside, and he does. He gets hit real hard right there. And the helmet on the ball, and it just popped right out.
2nd down and almost 14. King wide to the near side. Pass is batted in the air and caught by Justin Green. A heads-up play by Green. He's got the first down and out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. A flag down late in the play.
Tim, there was no way that ball was intended for King. Defensive man.
Green.
I mean, King, defensive man hit the ball right through his hand. Justin Green.
Justin Green got it, but a penalty flag toward the end of the play. And let's see, this is holding against the Warriors. So that shooting yourself in the foot continues for the Kecoughtan Warriors. Looking for a moment they got a break.
Let's listen to the
holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
In there.
Watch the replay here. You're going to see the ball batted in the air by one of the on-rushing linemen, and Justin Green very alertly picked it out of the air.
I believe that was 33, Tim, that tipped the ball, Andrew Schuler,
but
the outside linebacker.
But unfortunately for the Warriors, that play is nullified by the holding call. 2nd down and 15 after the spot foul. Ball right at midfield. And this is Terrence Thompson, who can't get untracked as he is tripped up on a fine defensive play. That was number 64, Charles Jones, who got a hand on him. And no gain on the play. Brings up 3rd down and 15. Terrence Thompson, of course, previously had played quarterback for the Warriors, has been moved to the fullback spot with the maturity of Matt Cross. King to the near side. Carter Jones split wide to the right. Back to pass is Cross. Has some time. Throws. Got a man King at the 42 to the 40. He is struggling, and he will get the first down on 2nd and 3rd effort.
I tell you, he got it all on his own, but nice pass by Cross. I'm impressed with Cross throwing the ball, and like you said, he's throwing it into the wind, Tim. Short passes, and is doing a good job.
Ralph King, who had to get the last 8 yards of this first down on his own as he broke a tackle there, bounced off another, and then finally dove for the first down marker and got there at the Hampton 34-yard line. 3:30 left here in a scoreless first period, but the Warriors in Hampton territory. Cross will give to Justin Green, and Green will get about 5, close to the 30-yard line, call it perhaps 4. Little Justin Green, only in stature, 5'7", 155, the senior running back.
Well, we ran into Jones, 64 for the Crabbers. Jones 235, and he'll put a stop on you.
Mark the ball at the Hampton 31-yard line, a gain of about 3, 2nd down and 7.
Now that's close to 4. Yeah. It's a long 3.
This is Backus, and Backus darts to about the 28-yard line. Needs to get to the 24, so it'll bring up a crucial 3rd down and about 4 to go.
Travis Creighton, number 75, fought off a blocker real well that time, Tim, and made that initial hit.
I usually bring a cold drink here.
I just bring a regular drink and it get cold after I got here.
Next week I'll bring the coffee. It's like this. 3rd down and 3. Backus gets the call, and he's got the first down. He is down to the Hampton 17-yard line. It'll be first down. So the Warriors trying to bring it to the Crabbers with a couple of ill-timed penalties. Otherwise, they've moved the ball consistently in this game. Here's the replay. Watch this. Alan Backus got to the opening, got a good block on the left side, and they mark it at the Hampton 16-yard line. Officials conferring with the Warriors. I'm not sure. I didn't see a penalty flag, but that doesn't mean there wasn't one. He's actually talking to both squads, so perhaps there's some conversation going on, and Charlie Davidson setting the tone here. Just speculating on that, though.
Well, Tim, both of these teams know each other. I'm talking about the young men on both teams.
17-yard line is where they mark his forward progress. First down for the Warriors. And Backus again dives into the right side of the line, gets to about the 14-yard line before he's driven back.
Well, this is one that we had talked about in the pregame, Tim, about the way the Crabbers, we got a penalty, but they'll bend and bend, but once you get inside the 20, that's really hard to get into the end zone.
Let's see who the flag is against. And it is against the Crabbers. There's our buddy, Buddy Brown.
Buddy Brown.
I was talking to him earlier. He was here about 6:15, 6:20, I guess it was when I first got here. I said, it's kind of cold to be here. He says, I'm just glad to be here. Doesn't matter how cold it is.
That's right.
So they're going to mark off a penalty against the Crabbers. So far, I haven't seen the call, but it looks to be half the distance.
Right?
Half the distance to the goal. I'm not sure whether the penalty carries an automatic first down. Let's see how they call this. Automatic? Unsportsmanlike, so I guess.
Against the defense. Half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
2nd and about a,
so
they're going to call it a yard.
Yeah, so it's not an automatic first down. Half the distance to the goal is the mark-off. 2nd and a yard. This is Justin Green, and Green tries to turn the right side and will not get back to the line of scrimmage. You can't go east and west down this close to the goal line against these Crabbers very successfully.
Wilson Banks Jr., one of the crabbers in on the tackle.
Tackle.
To tackle.
They will give his forward progress to the 8, so he didn't lose as much as it might have appeared that he did. He maybe lost a half a yard. It brings up 3rd down and almost 2.
Well, he's got a full yard to go to now, plus some.
Yep. And a quarterback keeper will get the 1st down. In fact, they're down inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for the Warriors. Matt Cross just took it on a quarterback sneak. So the Warriors on the doorstep. Watch the replay here. You're going to see Matt Cross get some good interior line blocking here. He just followed his center.
Well, the Crabbers were looking for the handoff, and they left the spot open there right off of between the guard and the center on the left-hand side, and Matt just took a little step backwards and then just followed his center. Center being Gaddis.
This is Backus, and Backus is stopped for no gain. The Crabbers were keying on Alan Backus, as they should. Mr. Backus coming into the game with over 700, almost 800 yards on the season. Matt Cross is going to
take a timeout.
Yeah. Well, actually, they don't have to. It's the end of the 1st quarter, actually.
Well, that's even better, isn't it?
Yep. So we've played 12 minutes here at Darling Stadium, and our score after 1 period is Hampton 0 and Kecoughtan 0.
I tell you, if you're Kecoughtan, you got to be real pleased with that. Not only where you are right now at the beginning of the 2nd quarter, but Tim, you controlled the ball for the most of that 1st quarter and really had some bad things happen at the beginning. Got a couple penalties, roughing the kicker, had some things that really went against them, but your defense bailed you out, stopping Hampton on that 4th and 1, and turned the ball over at the 35-yard line, and they've marched it down. So this, you're talking 65-yard drive for the Warriors. Talk a little bit about our crew. We got Scotty Bowers as the director, graphics, Andy Folio, audio, Andy Foley, Folio. The audio is Mike Nowinski, engineer Don Scharouse, cameras Nathaniel Braxton, Susan Bowers, and Ron Baton, instant replay Andre Mattingly, and doing our technician on the cables tonight by herself, Desiree Lewis, who has been doing a great job.
Well, talk about domination in the 1st quarter. The Warriors completed 5 passes for 55 yards and rushed the ball 9 times for 37. The Crabbers in the 1st quarter, just a total of 4 yards on offense. So the Warriors have really taken it to Hampton in the early going. Tommy Austin needs to see if his team can do it for 4 quarters. That's been the question all year long. 2nd down and goal. Matt Cross wants to pass. Swing pass near side Ed Ross, and he is thrown for a loss on a good defensive effort by 33, Andre Schuler.
Now, we talked about Schuler earlier, Tim, how well he plays that linebacker.
Well, he played a great job that time because he actually threw Ross for a loss. Not easy to say.
Ross for a loss.
Back to the 6.
Say that fast 3 times.
I had a hard time saying it once. The lips are a little numb tonight. It's a little chilly.
Well, you're really complaining about the weather. What are you going to do when it gets cold? I remember one night we had to send somebody out to get gloves. It was so cold.
No, we're talking cold that night. This is balmy. Matt Cross, 3rd and goal in the end zone, up for grabs. It's tipped away, and it'll be 4th and goal at the 6.
And that was a great defensive play. They had 2 offensive players and 2 defensive players when the ball came down.
That was not a good decision to throw into that crowd. But I tell you what would be a good decision is if you would run down to the corner Zoom's store and get us some hot Beantown coffee.
Oh, hey, now,
why
do I have to run down?
Well, I got to do my thing here.
I can't do my thing here?
All right, we'll get Bob to go down to Zoom's and get us some Krispy Kreme
we need something from Zoom's. I'll tell you, some chicken and
fried chicken.
Pizza
Wrap my hands around some warm chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, right.
Guarantee that would be great.
Stopped it last Saturday. I meant to tell you this. Last Saturday is we're going to go down to the sideline. Here we go. Listen to this. Watch this, folks.
Baton's got a tough job, doesn't he?
Last Saturday at My Zooms up there on Warwick Boulevard, they had gasoline for 99 cents a gallon, and they had lines out to the middle of Warwick Boulevard. They had some kind of promotion going on, and I mean, buck a gallon for gas. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, down there on the new Zooms on Big Bethel Road, it was $1.02 for the regular and $1.03 for the second grade.
And while we've been talking, the Warriors have just booted a field goal of 23 yards. 30.
And that was number 45 doing it.
23-yard field goal.
Ryan Miller.
Ryan Miller.
And now they have the wind at their back, Tim, kicking off.
Well, so far, Bob, the wind hasn't been a big factor in the deterring the Kecoughtan offense. They moved the ball quite well, and quite frankly, Matt Cross did a good job passing in that drive.
No, he really did. Call Pearls for all your drapes. Custom designed by interior decorator Ray Paris and Tommy Thompson. They will do a free in-home consultation. Pearls is located at 15 North Mallory in Phoebus. Give them a call, 722-1907, 722-1907.
Alvin Banks and Will Jennings will be back deep to receive Ryan Miller's kick after the 23-yard field goal. We were talking so much about Bean Time Coffee. Tommy Austin's team was kicking a field goal. Banks fields it at the 3. He's got a big hole up the middle.
It closed too quick.
Closed too quickly is right. At the 25-yard line is where the Crabbers will set up. Trailing in the ball game 3-0 with 11:01 to go in the first half. Kecoughtan defense played very well last week against the Bethel Bruins. In fact, you and I talked about it in the pregame show. A very short punt in the fourth quarter allowed the Bruins to tie the game up and send it into overtime. But your kicking game doing a little bit better job, and your defense, the Kecoughtan defense just played very well last week and again this week so far. Fumble!
Fumble!
Who's got it? Warriors are all over the ball, and they've got it. So the Crabbers lose it on the first play after the kickoff.
Tim, that was the runner never really had the ball.
Manny Anderson gets credit for the fumble recovery. Watch the replay. Let's see if we can see exactly what happened. That was Banks who had the ball, and Alvin Banks never really had control of the ball.
No, he never had. As Tommy Gear sitting in there in the stands, all huddled up, trying to get warm. Councilman Tommy Gear, soon to be a delegate.
So here is the first down at the Hampton 25. Cross wants to get it early if he can. Ed Ross had gotten behind the defender, but the ball was thrown a little short. And again, that effort on the part of Matt Cross to not overthrow the ball with the wind behind him.
Well, Tim, Matt threw the ball almost about where he wanted to. Ed Ross had gotten behind the defender. And there's the stadium crew. They're huddled out here. They got their big jackets on tonight.
Telling you, we went from summer to winter. We forgot fall. Second down and 10 at the Hampton 25.
Shotgun.
Out of the gun. This is Backus, and Backus faked to the right and goes to his left. He's got some running room left side, and he is driven out of bounds, but he will be close to the first down. Over to stop him was Anthony Williams, number 23, the sophomore. But that was going to be, well, depending on the mark, he will be, well, he's going to be just about a yard short of the first.
Well, I tell you, that was a great play. Watch it. You missed the first part. He started to the right and then just cut it back. I mean, it was almost like a reverse, but you didn't hand the ball off.
Misdirection, if you will, a kind of a counter. Looked like he was coming to the near side and then reversed his field, and it was clearly part of the plan. This is Cross again, and on short yardage, Cross picks up the first down. He's going to be first and goal inside the 10.
I tell you, this is a fired-up Warrior sideline down there.
Everybody's talking about how you're going to have Hampton making the playoffs and Phoebus making the playoffs and Warwick making. This could be a huge game if the Crabbers can't get back into this game. And, of course, they only trail 3-0, but right now the Warriors are bringing it to them. First and goal inside the Hampton 10. This is the misdirection play. Justin Green gets the handoff, and he is stopped at the 6-yard line, close to the 5.
We're seeing some things tonight from Matt Cross that we haven't seen in the 2 previous games. Doing a great job of following through his fakes. Watch this fake. And it's an inside, almost like a counter play or a trap.
Cross is no little guy. You know, he's carried the ball a couple of key plays, and he's 6 feet, 172 pounds. So he's a pretty good-sized boy. Ball marked right at the 6, as you can see from our sideline shot there from Ron ESPN Baton. Second and goal at the Hampton 6. And now a timeout being called by the Warriors. So they detected something in the setup that was uncomfortable to them, so they call the timeout. That's their second timeout of the first half.
Tim, I want to talk a little bit about what Zooms is doing. They're giving an award to the senior player on each of the football teams in the Hampton school system this year who has demonstrated academic excellence. These players will be awarded plaques at a school board meeting after the season, and we'd like to thank David Allen and Zooms for their continued support, not only to WHCS, but also our student athletes. And the second, I will give you the names of those young men. For the Hampton Crabbers, number 1, Aaron Whitehead. For the Kecoughtan Warriors, number 52, Tommy Hammond. For Phoebus, number 9, Marlon Ellis. And for the Bruins, number 54, Jonas Watson. Congratulations to those 4 young men.
Kecoughtan, talking about scheduling, they've had kind of a tough road to go here. They played Bethel last week, lost that heartbreaker. They got Hampton this week, and they jump from the pan to the fire as they take on the Phoebus Phantoms next Friday night, which will be a game we'll be here to cover. This is Backus, and Backus slashes off the right side, and the Hampton defense prevents him from getting in. He's down to the 1-yard line, and it'll be third and goal at the 1. Backus almost got in, but the Hampton pursuit caught up and was able to keep him out. Did a good job of cutting to the open space.
Well,
and
I tell you, they're gang tackling. You're right. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Our only score with 9 minutes left in the first half is Kecoughtan 3-0.
I'd quarterback sneak it. He's had luck with that. The 2 other times he's done it, picked up more than enough yardage.
Quick count, and he didn't get it this time. The Warriors tried to sneak, but the defense for the Hampton Crabbers said, nope, you did it once, but you won't do it again. And making the stop was Darylyn Fenner, number 44, as Matt Cross on a quick count.
Well, and what he needed to do was get behind one of his men, and Fenner shot the gap, but he never got a chance to follow one of his linemen, across the goal line.
Good defense by the Hampton Crabbers will force the Warriors now to consider at least, and the reason I say consider is there's always a fake, but it looks like Ryan Miller is going to try another field goal. This will be a 20-yarder, a little shorter than the one he already hit. And now, as the worst case scenario would be, too much time. They had some delay of game call as they were indecisive immediately as to what they were going to do. And once that ball's set for play, you've got 25 seconds.
Yeah. Dead ball, so delay of game on the offense. 5 yards, still 4th down.
Well, they actually don't back it up to the same distance. They only are setting back 3 yards further back, because this will be a 28-yarder, and it is partially blocked. So the Warriors come up dry after a great drive, but the 28-yard field goal attempt is wide and low to the left. .756 remains in the first half. The Warriors had the momentum going. Let's see if this defensive stand by the Crabbers will spark their offense.
Well, you know, what you got to do if the Crabbers, Tim, is you got to quit making mistakes. So they had the ball. The first play, they got thrown for a 5-yard loss, and then they couldn't move the ball. And then the next time they get the ball, first play, they fumble it.
And it looked like a bit of a mix-up there, but Stephen Wyatt makes the most of the situation. He's got one man to beat. Man's got the angle on him, and he will not allow him to get into the end zone, but Stephen Wyatt will go out of bounds all the way down to the Kecoughtan 24-yard line.
I tell you, that was a great job by Wyatt that time, Tim. All he did was take a step backwards like he was going to hand off the ball and didn't watch it. Just a fake like he's dropping back to hand it off, and then outran a couple of players, but who's this number 30?
Dante Edwards.
Dante Edwards.
Well, we saw play a fine game last week against the Bruins. But nonetheless, the Crabbers have the ball at the Kecoughtan 24-yard line. That's just the second first down for the Crabbers, and the Hampton offense sputters this time as Kecoughtan's ready for that play, and there's no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Solomon Bassett, Tim, right up the middle, and maybe picked up a half a yard, but very negligible. Right now, the Kecoughtan Warriors are controlling the line of scrimmage, and you're throwing your glasses around and just having a good time over there.
No, it's not a good time when you throw your glasses around. I was checking with Bob, and my glasses came flying. I only use these for decoration anyway. 56 yards was the run by Wyatt on that previous play. 2nd down and 10 after no gain. Wyatt on the quarterback draw, and he'll pick up a yard, maybe 2, but he stopped cold, and it'll be 3rd and long for the Crabbers. Kecoughtan's defense has done an outstanding job of shutting down the Crabbers.
There are no holes out there that the Crabbers can find right now.
Except for that big long run by Wyatt. They've been just consistently stopping him. 3rd down as he got back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10.
And you know, sometimes it's hard to get these young men up when you're playing a 1-6 team, and you figure, you know, you don't take them as seriously as you should. You take them a little too lightly.
Big mistake. And a penalty flag again. This will be a delay of game.
Another delay.
So both teams here with costly penalties on key downs.
Well, I don't know if
Dead ball,
you're going
delay
into
of game,
the wind.
5 yards on the offense, still 3rd down.
Don't pick up the first down. I don't know that Aaron will come in to kick a field goal tonight. I know he's got a strong leg, but Tim, you're going into a real tough win.
And it wouldn't be a short chip shot to begin with.
No.
3rd down and 14 to go for the Crabbers. Wyatt wants to pass, and he does. Completes the pass inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line.
What a nice catch by number 12
Travis
for the Crabbers.
Richmond. Travis Richmond down at the 6-yard line, but that'll give Hampton a 1st and goal at the Kecoughtan 6.
That was a nice pass that time. Watch the time that Wyatt has no pressure, but great defense, but a pass was put right where Travis could catch it.
Who caught it? First and goal at the Warrior 6.
Are you spotting for killing that?
I'm helping him. Quarterback keeper Stephen Wyatt still going down inside the 3. The only thing you have to be cautious about is when you try that second effort, that's when a lot of times someone will grab that ball and knock it loose.
You've got people hanging all over you, and then somebody grabs that elbow and flips the elbow up as we watch the replay. It's just no more than a quarterback keeper. Picked up, what they start about 6 or picked up almost 3.
Mark him down at 3.
Right behind number 7.
2nd and goal. Kecoughtan 3 and Hampton nothing as we are hitting the 5-minute mark of the first half. Stephen Wyatt, and now he's going to call a timeout. That'll be Hampton's final timeout of the first half. He looked over the defense, and apparently it didn't match up well with his play call.
Tim, what he was doing was trying to draw him offside and get half the distance to the goal line.
But that, that only works so often, and then when you burn up your third timeout.
Well, you can't take your timeouts from one quarter to the one half to the next anyway, so.
So you should use them all in the first minute of the first half?
Use them when you need them. Absolutely. Let's go get some of that potato wedges and Krispy Kreme. And
you know what they really
I don't think I want a Coke. I think I want hot chocolate or coffee.
I stopped by there yesterday. I had the top down, feeling that beautiful warm weather, and I stopped in there and I went up and while I was there, lady was getting one of those homemade subs. And, I'm trying to watch my girlish figure these days, but, man, I'm telling you, that looked awfully good. They had them right there, ham and cheese sub and cold drink.
Well, yesterday a cold drink would have been all right. Today
making a hot bean time coffee. Thank you very much. Second and goal at the 3. Hampton has used up their timeouts. This is Wyatt on the quarterback keeper, and he's going to be down inside the 1-yard line. They say he did not get it into the end zone. The side judge comes over and very emphatically rules him down inside the 1. It brings up third and goal. So the Kecoughtan Warrior defense is not going to let this happen without a struggle.
Well, they're giving up yardage except for that long run. Very, very tough yardage for the Crabbers to pick up.
Begrudgingly was, I think, the word you were looking for.
Begrudgingly, I was thinking of that.
It
didn't come out.
but it's cold. Third and goal. Stephen Wyatt will plunge over from the left side. So Wyatt from 1 yard out.
And who do you think he went over? He went behind young Mr. Stephen Williams, number 70.
Here's
Watch
your replay.
him right there.
Watch the replay.
6'3".
Well, that was
270.
And you saw a good example of that. Wyatt just dove down. He blocked and went under and forced the defender to go down with him and allowed Stephen Wyatt to just go right over big Stephen Williams. The extra point is good, and it's 7-3.
If I want to pick up some yardage, I know who I want to go behind.
Well, I started, as a person who's always been on the big side anyway, I started, when we were talking about the defensive line earlier and you were talking about Stephen Williams, I said, they really should count him as 2 positions because he is such a big guy.
I can remember when he was a freshman and I talked to Danny Mitchell about him. He says, yeah, he's big, but he says, Bob, he's got real quick feet. He's going to be a good ball player for us, and he sure has.
Sure has. 6'3", 350 pounds. And thank goodness I don't buy his braces.
Well, I tell you, if he go down to Zooms, he could just have a ball down there.
Just bring a big bundle of money. All right, Aaron Whitehead will kick it off. He'll be into the wind with this one. And you can see the wind does hold it up, but it makes it a little tricky, too, to field. This is Manny Anderson, and Anderson has some running room. He's out to the 40 and all the way to the 44-yard line.
Found a little crease after he caught that ball.
So the Warriors with almost 4 minutes. I started to do my old one there, 1 second less than 4 minutes. Watch the replay of the kickoff. Manny Anderson takes this at about the 20-yard line.
Look at the little spot right there, the little seam that opened up for him.
Yep. All the way out to the 44, about a 24-yard return. 3:59, and they have one of their timeouts remaining. Do the Warriors? Kecoughtan has one, Hampton has none. This is Terrence Thompson, and he's been used sparingly tonight and picks up almost 2 to the 46-yard line. It'll bring 2nd and 8.
Wilson Banks Jr., Tim, did a good job of shooting the gap. Wilson Banks plays one of those linebackers, Tim, and just kind of keyed on the runner that time, shot the gap, and threw him for a loss of almost 2 yards.
And again, I remind you, next Friday night, the 2nd of November. That's right, the 2nd of November. You realize, as of yesterday, there were just 2 months until Christmas?
Oh, jeez. I ain't even got used to this being Halloween already.
There you go. Matt Cross feels the pressure, throws it, and did he throw it away? Let's see. They rule he was throwing it in the general vicinity of a receiver.
Well, I tell you, you see the big guy that was after him?
Yes, I saw him.
And we're talking about a 350-pound guy, fans here who was, I mean, really putting pressure on Matt Cross.
He looked at Matt Cross like he was a big pork chop. Telling you, he was ready to go get him. Sorry, next Friday night, the Warriors doesn't get any easier. They take on Phoebus here at Darling Stadium next Friday night, the 2nd of November. We'll be here. We hope you'll be here as well. And we've got a whistle just as the play developed, and let's see what this one will be.
I think we had premature emotion that would stop the play.
You got illegal motion against the Warriors, and that's the kind of thing that's hurt them all year long. So that'll cost them 5, and instead of 3rd down and 8, it'll be 3rd down and 13
ball
to go.
Start on the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
So Matt Cross looked like he had a pass play called anyway.
Well, he did have one and had some players that were breaking open, but that, you know, and they breaking open because defense heard the whistle.
So big 3rd down for the Warriors as they hope to get back in the lead here before halftime, and the pass incomplete, intended for Ralph King on the near sideline.
Uh-oh, we got a penalty.
We got some words being exchanged by a couple of players, and let's see how this one is called. A penalty flag down. Won't even speculate. I was looking downfield, so I didn't see.
I saw who it was.
I saw who it was, but I didn't see what caused it or what
it was
happened.
just continued blocking. I thought. I don't think there was anything bad. I think they would just continue to shove and push each other.
Well, let's see. Let Charlie Davison unravel it for us. Still discussing the infraction. And you look at the officials.
Well, the two combatants are leaving the field, and I don't know if they're being ejected or they're just the coaches are substituting for them.
Oh, ejection. And that is Williams out of the game. You talk about all the
well, see, now the bad thing about that, Tim, is he also has to miss next week's game.
Wow. Remind you who the officials are while they continue to discuss this. Charlie Davidson is your referee. Don Mollenhauer is the umpire. Linesman is Dave Stollard. Philip Mitchell is the line judge. The back judge is Don Foreman, and George Webster is the field judge. Don Foreman was the referee for the contest that we did last week.
Personal foul on the offense, 15 yards, first down.
So it's not a offsetting penalty.
Nope.
That is a one-sided call and a huge penalty because that'll give a first down to the Warriors. So not only does Hampton lose big Mr. Stephen Williams for the remainder of this game and, as you said, Bob, next week's game as well.
Wait a minute now. He's back in.
Well, that's not the signal we saw. When he did the "you're out of here" sign, I believe that means you're out of here. Stephen Williams is in the game.
And he can't hide.
Well, definitely can't. But now, if you look across the field, Charlie Davidson and the other officials are discussing the situation with Mike Smith. So we'll see how this one goes. But I believe the signal we saw was that he was ejected.
Well, we're not picking up the sound, so. But he's not out. He's not ejected.
64 was ejected.
64
was ejected. So
for the Crabbers.
Forgive us for inadvertently calling it on Stephen Williams. That is not the call. We stand corrected and apologize for that. It was not against Stephen Williams. Swing pass left side, Justin Green. That was close to being a lateral, but it was in fact a forward pass and ruled correctly by the official. Is that what it was? So the guys in the truck think he was just trying to break it up. Okay, I got you.
He was a peacemaker, trying to break them up.
Well, I think it's a serious problem for them. Here's the replay of that incomplete pass. It still hurts them because the player that was ejected has been playing very well, and Charlie Jones was the player that was removed from the game.
Yeah, he plays one of the tackle positions, so
I've called his name a couple of times. So
trying to figure out who's in there now. For the tackles, on defense, we have Williams and who else
we'll
is
pick
in
it
there?
up in a minute. It looks like 67 has come in to replace him as Alan Backus gets the call and does not get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard.
67 is Timothy Gorman, Tim. 5'10", 200-pound tackle.
So the
that last play, that's a poor spot. Watch.
Oh yeah.
He gets grabbed and thrown.
Yeah, they had that ball marked at the 46, and they gave him progress to the 45. 3rd down and 11 for the Warriors. 2:20 remaining in the half, and the clock is moving. This is Justin Green on the inside handoff.
And we got a flag.
Green gets to the outside, has the first down, but the penalty will be crucial on this play.
Yeah, and I believe it's going to be against the Warriors, Tim. What a nice call, though. Everybody looking for the pass, especially the grabbers, and it's almost like a draw play, that little counter shot, and nice run that time, but all for naught. That is a hold, isn't it?
That evil call of holding. Here's the replay. Let's see if you can spot the holding.
Right there. Right there. There it was.
Well, you know, they can call holding on every play, but
not in front of the face. You don't want to do it in front of
on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 3rd down.
Getting a first down and having the ball deep in Hampton territory. They get backed up. Down remains 3rd. And 3rd and a mile now.
That's another thing that Coach Austin was talking about, Tim. He says we'd have a nice run and then we'd have a penalty. And we would not only get the penalty, but we'd lose the yardage we gained. So instead of a 10-yard penalty, sometimes being a 30-yard penalty.
Well, they're setting themselves up for another penalty. They didn't get it called. The young man, and almost picked off. The young man who set wide receiver here, from my vantage, and he's directly in front of me, he was lined up across the line of scrimmage. The side judge didn't detect, and it didn't become a factor in the play.
Well, usually what they do is when they get out wide like that, they'll check with the official to see if I'm on the line of scrimmage or whatever, and he'll usually tell them that you need to move back a little or something.
And it was close. It certainly could have gone the other way, but it seemed to be close on the other side of the. But anyway, the Warriors will have to give it up now, 4th and 19. They will be kicking with the wind. If they can get the ball away, they just barely do, as the Crabbers had the rush on. This is Jennings, and he'll pick it up at the 25, 30, 35. He's got some room down the sideline, and he gets to the 45-yard line before he's belted out of bounds by the kicker, Ryan Miller. And the Crabbers will have it now with 1:29 remaining in the half with no timeouts, and they lead by the slimmest of margins, 7-3.
And, you know, I thought he was just going to leave the ball alone, and he said, why don't I pick it up here?
Oh, that worked out very well for the Crabbers as they picked up 20 yards all the way to the 46-yard line. No timeouts left, but that doesn't deter the Crabbers. They've got such an explosive offense. We've already seen a 56-yard run by Wyatt. He'll work from the shotgun. And this will be a quarterback draw, and the Warrior defense had him for a moment. And now Wyatt will get across midfield to the Kecoughtan 49-yard line before he's stopped there. Alan Backus in on the play, along with number 33, Dante Edwards. So the Crabbers gain about 5. Watch the replay here. You'll see the quarterback draw. Hit there, and he got away, and then Backus wrapped him up.
Nice spin move.
He is so elusive.
That's what I say about the Crabbers. You know, even though he's lined up at the quarterback spot, Tim, he almost runs like from a single wing.
And he's still got the football after the fake. He's got the first down. They'll stop the clock while they move the chains. 42 seconds left in the half. 42-yard line. The Crabbers hurry to the line of scrimmage now to try and get a play off as quickly as they can while the chains are reset. And now they'll crank it, and the clock starts moving. 39, and they spike the ball with the clock with 38 seconds. So now the Crabbers will have time to call a play or two. And you got a couple of shots at the end zone here. You're at the 42-yard line. 38 ticks of the clock. Hampton 7 and Kecoughtan 3. Kecoughtan dominated the first quarter. Outrushed and outpassed the Crabbers by a margin of 90-4 in the first quarter, and then they kicked the field goal, had a chance to make it 6-0. Actually could have made it 10-0. They were had a first and goal, but the Crabber defense pushed them backwards, and then a couple of penalties. And speaking of penalties, here's the Crabbers on delay of game. Charlie Davidson says, "My watch is ticking, guys. You aren't watching."
When I blow that whistle and say it's time to go, fellas, you need to be going.
On the offense, 5 yards, still second down.
Well, they got a longer, I think 5 minutes longer halftime,
so
they're trying to make up for
shorten the game. Ball has moved out to the 47-yard line. Trips to the, I started to say trips. One of the guys was getting off the field, so there's only double wides to the far side. Out of the shotgun, Wyatt, and he is tripped up at the 45 down to the 44, and the clock with 30 seconds, and it's moving. It's third down and about 12. Need to get to the 32-yard line. And they spiked the ball on 3rd and 12, so you got to wonder about that call. Guess it just saves you enough time to play one more. It's 4th down. You would have thought that you'd just try something, say, like, go out on a slant or something.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier to call them up here. But it was 3rd down and 12. Now it's 4th down and 12. But they had to stop the clock to have any chance. Now they can go for the long play.
Well, if they get a first down, the clock will stop. But they got to get the first down.
Well, and again, I've using those timeouts in the early part of the half comes back to haunt them as the ball is batted away nicely by Justin Green. Timed it perfectly so as not to be called for interference, and the Crabbers have to give it up on downs. See,
Tim, that ball.
Again, I know my thing, it's always nice to be right once in a while. He burned those timeouts, and he didn't have them to use when he really could have used them.
Watch the replay. Tim, the ball just hung up a little bit, and nice job that time by Justin Green, just timing it. Don't try to intercept it because you knock the ball down and you get it back at the line of scrimmage.
You're better off not. Good heads-up play by Justin Green. I've been impressed with him for 2 weeks in a row now. So Matt Cross with one timeout remaining, just 14 seconds, and they're just going to play this very conservatively. They give to Thompson, and Thompson will take it to the 48-yard line, and they'll just let the clock wear out for the first half here. Tommy Austin will be very content to go into the locker room just trailing 7-3. And we've reached halftime. Our score is Hampton 7, Kecoughtan 3. We'll return to Darling Stadium for the third quarter of action after this brief timeout. Back here at Darling Stadium, the halftime ceremony is concluding. The Kecoughtan High School Marching Band paying a tribute to Mrs. Lockhart, Rosemary Lockhart, who was so instrumental in the school system for such a long time, passed away this week. Our condolences to the Lockhart family. Halftime statistics find the statistics very close. Kecoughtan with 17 rushes for 67 yards. Their leading rusher is Alan Backus with 9 carries for 29. Matt Cross completed 6 of 12 passes for 53 yards. The leading receiver, Ed Ross, 1 catch for 19. Total offense in the first half for the Warriors, 120 yards. They had 6 first downs. The Warriors fumbled the ball twice. They retained it both times, and they were penalized 7 times for 55 yards. For the Crabbers, they had 14 rushes for 82 yards, but remember, one of those was 56 yards on the 1 rush by Stephen Wyatt.
Right.
And he was the leading rusher in the first half, 9 carries for 85 yards. So that would tell you that all the other ball carriers for Hampton actually lost yardage. And, of course, Wyatt did score the 1 touchdown from 1 yard out for the only touchdown of the first half. Wyatt completed just one of 3 passes for 23 yards. Travis Richmond made that catch, and he, of course, was conversely the leading receiver. 5
makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense, right? 5 first downs. The Crabbers fumbled it once, and they lost it. And they were penalized 5 times for 43 yards. Total offense for the Hampton Crabbers in the first half, 105 yards. So Kecoughtan actually gained 15 more yards, but trails at halftime 7-3.
Well, Tim, again, I want to remind the fans that we'll pick a player of the game for both of these teams, and that player receive a plaque and a shirt. The plaque comes from Engraving Inc. They're located at Tab Square on Route 17 for all your engraving needs. Contact Dave Buckwalter at 596-8850. The shirt comes from the Islander Sporting Goods, and they're located in Pecoughtan. They can meet all your sports needs with a full line of athletic goods, both team and individual, equipment, uniforms, plus screen printing. Call Dave Chubb at 868-8467. John Roberts is the owner.
Ms. Bowers needs a seatbelt to be kept from being blown away there. They can see the wind blowing the
that's the sideline camera. And Mr. Tommy Gear, come up and see us. Won the drawing. Tommy Gear won the drawing. I said, well, wait a minute now. He said, thanks for calling his name. I said, I wish I'd have known about it. If you need mini blinds or vertical blinds, or do you need them repaired, give Pearls a call. They're one of the very few places that repair blinds. Give them a call at 722-1907 and ask for Tommy Thompson or Ray Paris.
As you look at the center of the field, the Crabbers, if you recall, did win the toss at the pregame ceremony. They deferred to the second half, and so they will get the ball, but they will be going into the wind. So that's the penalty they pay for getting the ball. As you see, the hardy fans here, it's got to be, you know, it's not that terribly cold, but it's such a strong wind that the wind chill is such a different. And then when you go from 80 degrees 3 different days, what, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, at 80+ degrees. Here's Bob over here just shivering as I am. And, you know, it's quite a turnaround when you go from running your air conditioning on Thursday to having the heat on Friday.
Well, and what really makes it tough tonight, Tim, is the wind factor that we've got. It's not so much as the weather.
You can hear it in your microphone.
Yeah, the temperature is not that bad if it wasn't for the wind.
All right, second half about set to get underway. Hampton 7, Kecoughtan 3. The Crabbers will receive Ryan Miller's kick to start the second half. And Miller's kick is down the left sideline and goes out of bounds. So the ball will be spotted, I believe, at the 35.
Yeah, I think that's where they'll spot it, is at the 35. So actually, you stop a run back, but you give the Crabbers pretty good field position starting.
They can ask him to kick it over again, and of course that was with the wind, but I think the kick was to avoid a run back, just as you said.
Looks like I believe the wind has picked up a little bit.
Yeah, and if we can close that window, I will not be upset at all.
Ball will be placed 25 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Is that what the problem is? Well, if it falls on you, sorry about that.
That's all right. The city's
I'll continue on.
The city's got big pockets.
Oh, they do? Well, let me get in the way, too, then.
All right, they will spot it at the 35, and Hampton will have it there, 1st and 10 to start the second half. Out of the shotgun, Stephen Wyatt, direct snap, found nothing to the right side. He reverses his field near side, 40, 45, and he picks up almost enough for a first down, depending on the spot.
And I believe he did get the first down, Tim.
Well, it will depend if they give him progress across the 45.
And that's exactly where the official on the sideline has got it. It looks like at about the 46.
Watch the replay. You'll see Wyatt. And Wyatt does, in fact, fall forward while still in bounds. So he does pick up a little more than 10. Let's call it a pickup of almost 11, and it's a first down for the Crabbers. That's a good way for the Hampton team to start the second half.
Yeah, but I think we need a ball.
Well,
we don't have a ball out there.
I'm not sure what they did. They took the ball that was in play. I don't know whether they have a special ball they use for kickoffs.
No, what happened is I think when it came out of bounds, it may have gotten some water or something on it. So they have 2 balls on the sideline. What they're trying to do was
Yeah, that's what I thought. Bob was telling me Kecoughtan has a ball that they use for kickoffs.
Right, yeah.
Hampton has a ball for theirs, and they were going to set the ball in play. In fact, they never changed the ball. That's what happened. Wyatt on the fake inside handoff still has it, and he picks up 9 yards down to the Kecoughtan 46-yard line.
And he running right behind big Stephen Williams. I mean, it's hard to find Stephen Wyatt when he's behind Stephen Williams. Watch the replay. It looked like it was going to be a handoff.
Yeah, nice fake. This is what they did earlier. It's kind of a fake handoff and a quick quarterback draw, 9 yards. 2 plays now. He's got over 104 yards in the game, does Wyatt. 2 plays have netted him about 19 yards here to start the second half. Ball marked at the Kecoughtan 45.5, if there was such a thing. I always like to say that. There is no such thing as a 45.5.
There isn't.
Banks has the first down, and Banks has been very quiet in this game. He fumbled the ball early, and really they've not given the ball much to him at all.
I was going to say he hasn't had many touches tonight.
One of the younger fans in attendance, everybody kind of bundled up tonight. So the ball marked at the Kecoughtan 40, and Banks picks up the first down. So that's 2 first downs here to start the second half for the Crabbers. And they only had 6 in the first half, if my memory serves correctly, either 5 or 6. So they come out after the halftime adjustments. Hampton had 5 in the first half, so now they've got 7. Again out of the gun. And again, it's Wyatt. This is no deception play. Wyatt just simply taking the ball and running out of the shotgun and picks up 9 yards.
I was going to say they're either picking up 9 or 10 yards of their whack.
Why would you change it?
I wouldn't.
Not me. Don't fix it if it isn't broken.
You do it until you stop it.
Another young fan in attendance. She says, "Where's that ice cream?"
Yeah. Mama said, "I'm not holding no ice cream."
30-yard line is where they've marked it. Second down and a short yard to go. Hampton staying right on the ground into the wind. Joined us late. This game taped on the 26th of October, 2001. Alvin Banks, and he will apparently have the first down as he crosses the Kecoughtan 30 to about the 29. So Hampton not doing anything fancy, just simply there's Bunny.
Bunny Brown, he's happy tonight.
Got his red and white jacket, Hampton High School jacket on.
Marks on the Warrior 29-yard line. First and 10 Crabbers.
Gotta watch this guy to my left. First down at the Kecoughtan 29-yard line. Clock moving, 9:15 to go in the third quarter. Whoa, high snap.
Wow,
nice
catch.
Wyatt. Stephen Wyatt had to reach up and then gets away from Backus, but Backus gets enough of him to knock him down after getting maybe a yard on the play.
Well, through the timing was off a little bit on that. He had to watch this, throw his right hand up.
I mean, that was quite a grab.
Yes, it was.
A mere mortal would have seen that ball 10 yards over his head. Give him a yard on the play to the 28.
Good shot of Coach Austin there on the sideline.
Let's go, Warriors!
Clock moving, 8.5 minutes to go in the third. Hampton on a play-action fake over the middle, throws it incomplete. Good job on defense by Ralph King as he broke up the play intended for Travis Richmond, who has the only reception of the night for the Crabbers.
Well, I believe that ball was right where it needed to be, but the defensive player on that side really pulled it out.
Got someone left the door open again. Someone lives in a barn.
Is that what the reason? I wondered why the temperature dropped about 10 degrees. There it is. Right. Nice pass and catch, but defensively it was just a better job. Knocked the ball out of his Richmond's hands.
Third down and 9. On the draw play to Banks. Banks has the ball to the 20, the 15. He's driven out of bounds, but not until he gets to the 14-yard line, and that'll be a first down for the Crabbers.
That was almost like a draw play that time, Tim. In fact, it probably
was a draw play. Not only looked like one, but it was a draw play.
Well, if it looks like a duck, smells like a duck, quacks like a duck, Probably not a goose.
Probably not. 14-yard line is where they mark him. Gain of 14. Mr. Banks making his presence known here in the third quarter. He and Wyatt are doing all the offense for the Crabbers right now. And this is Banks again. Gets the handoff, tries the right side, picks up a couple of yards. Might have gotten to the 12.
Tell you, number 8 for the Warriors was Manny Anderson was right there. He's the one that got a hold of the legs before the runner could even get out of the backfield, and we watch it here. Right there, shot the gap and got the ball carrier.
2nd down and 8 for the Crabbers.
Manny playing one of those linebacker spots.
Quick look pass, tipped and almost intercepted. The intended receiver on the pattern was 81, Johnny Pugh Jr.
He was open.
That ball tipped in the air and almost picked off by Justin Green. So it brings up 3rd down and 8. Watch the replay here. You see one of the.
Oh, that looked like number 10.
It was. It was Danielle Arsenault. No, excuse me, Jared Mayo.
Right.
Jared Mayo got a hand on it, tipped in the air, and almost caused the interception.
Plays one of those outside linebackers, Tim's, and that's his responsibility.
They're down and 8. So they'll look to pass the ball again, and Wyatt gets away from a tackle and is down at the 11-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and long for the Crabbers. So after successfully running the ball, the Crabbers now have gone to the pass and aren't able to pick up the 1st down. Watch the replay. You're going to see Wyatt roll to his right and see that was all clogged up and try to cut it back. And then he's bulldogged down, and now they'll try a field goal attempt of 28 yards. Aaron Whitehead with the wind in his face. And it's going to be very close. Did he get it over? No, just missed. Just missed going over the crossbar. And again, kicking into a pretty substantial breeze, the 28-yard field goal. So each team now has missed a field goal attempt.
Well, Tim, that would have gone in had there been no wind at all, because it was long enough and dead center, but it just dropped just in front of the crossbar.
Tough breeze for a 28-yard field goal. It's very difficult. So the Warriors defense does the job, and they take over at their 20.
Looked like my 9-iron shot today. I hit it and it came back at me.
Well, I was going to ask you if the wind had any effect on your game today. I knew it did. This is Terrence Thompson, used sparingly in the first half. He picks up about 6.
Well, Terrence used to be the quarterback. Tim is now running the fullback spot. He's a backup quarterback.
2nd down and about 4 for the the Warriors.
Well, I believe they run him a little bit. I think he came out of the tailback position that time.
I had the Phantoms on my mind because that's the next opponent for the green and white of Kecoughtan. They'll be here next Friday night to take on Bill D's Phoebus Phantoms.
No, they've got him lined up in the fullback.
Yep. Ed Ross lines up left side. 2nd down and about 4. This is Justin Green, and he bulls his way. Ball comes loose, but they're going to say he was down after he got the 1st down across the 30. So it'll still be Kecoughtan football. Kecoughtan registers the 1st down. Watch the replay. You're going to see the ball come loose at the very end of the play.
Yeah, but like you say, Tim, he was down there. Yep. Then the ball come loose.
Mark him at the 31-yard line. It's 1st down for the Warriors. Clock moving rapidly here now. 5:43 left in the 3rd quarter. Just Kecoughtan's first possession of the 2nd half. Again, Ross lines up in that tight end to the left side. The pitch goes to Justin Green. Green has a little running room, but that closes down pretty quickly as the Crabber defense stops him short of the 35-yard line.
Larry Callis did a great job in there making him cut back instead of getting outside, but still picked up some positive yardage. Watched Callis come shooting through right there.
Made messed up the play.
Yeah, kind of took the timing off and really took some blocking away from him because it made him cut back inside.
Marked the ball just short of the 35-yard line, a gain of almost 4. Let's call it 2nd down and 6 for the Warriors. This is Backus. Alan Backus bulls his way to the 38-yard line.
I'm impressed with when he gets hit, Tim, he just keeps his legs moving. Big number 75 that time, Travis Creighton, 210, hit him, and he still picked up a couple more yards. He does a great job of lowering his center of gravity right here, gets hit, and picks up 2 more yards.
You got to knock his pins out because otherwise he'll get you another 2 or 3 yards after the contact. Ball is marked across the 38-yard line. The Warriors need to get across the 41, so it's 3rd down and about 3. And this is Backus. He's looking for a hole, a flag on the play. Backus again using that excellent leg drive, but a penalty flag on the play. He has enough for the 1st down. Whether or not it'll hold up or not is the question.
I think we were going to have holding against the Warriors.
Holding up and holding being the operative words.
Yep. And again, Tommy Thompson will tell you that is what's killing us. We're picking up 1st downs, a lot of yardage, and then we get the penalty.
Just an excellent effort on Backus's part, but it's erased by the penalty for holding.
From the point of the infraction,
holding
which was at the
on the
40-yard
offense,
line.
10 yards from the spot of the foul.
All the way back to the 30.
3rd down.
Instead of 1st down, it's 3rd and 11. What time is Zoom's delivering that Beantown coffee?
I gave them a call, and they said, is this for Tim Cole? And I said,
well, now
if I say yes, is that going to be bad?
They delivered it to my house is the problem.
That's the trouble. They said, well, we know the address is where, we deliver the fried chicken and the
pizza.
And the pizza and the potato wedges. They tell me you love the potato wedges.
Oh, who wouldn't? Backus on the draw play, and he will not get enough for the 1st down.
Nice call.
As he'll come up about a yard short on a gain of 10, but they needed 11, and it'll be 4th down. I want to mention this 2nd half brought to you in part by Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the funeral director, and there you see the replay. Give them a call at 827-4670. Parklawn Wood Funeral Home, one of our corporate sponsors. So the ball actually marked across the 40, but still a yard shy, and now a timeout has been called by the Kecoughtan Warriors to discuss what they're going to do, and I will be quite surprised if they go for it here, but they've had success on short yardage.
Well, and Tim, what do you got to lose?
Well, and I agree with that, but
your
unfortunately,
defense have been playing good.
But you don't want to just give the ball up at your own 40 in a game that you're still very much in.
Right.
If you were down 28-3, I agree with you, but 7-3 is a different scenario.
Well, plus you've got the wind at your back, so your punter, then we're talking punters, number 45, Ryan Miller.
Yeah, but it does not look like Mr. Miller is going to be on the field. The offense is still out there.
Yeah, and I see Mr. Miller right down there on the left side of the.
So apparently, and I will use that because we've seen the hard count used before. See if the Warriors try to draw them off, or is this a sincere? Easy for me to say. They're going to go for it, and they got Backus, and he's got it. Gutsy call and a close ball game. He's got the 1st down at the 42-yard line. I take my hat off to you, Tommy Austin.
Well, I tell you, not only that, Tim, but boy, don't you know that gives that offensive line a lot of confidence now.
Yep. And in the past, now watch, let's see if they try to jam up the middle, but a good surge by the offensive middle of the Kecoughtan line gave them enough.
And you can see Fenner right there in the middle of it.
2-yard gain, 1st down for the Warriors. They keep this drive alive. This is Thompson. Terrence Thompson is across the 46-yard line before he's thrown back, so that'll be a gain of about 4. Clock moving, 2:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
53. Now here's an oxymoron. Edward Small, 6 foot 260.
He's not so small.
Watch him coming in. Boom. He right on time. He just flattened everybody.
They marked the ball across the Kecoughtan 46, gain of 4. Long 5, short 4, however you want to call the gain there. Shooting the gap, they almost got the ball before it was handed off to Justin Green, and Green will maybe get back to the line of scrimmage if he did.
And
Matt Cross.
Mr. Fenner says hello to Mr. Cross.
Yep, Cross.
Just as he handed that ball off.
And they just haven't watched this replay. You're going to see what appears to be a blitz there, and he just got the handoff.
Yeah.
Matt Cross did. That's the first time we've really seen any blitzing.
Well, one other time earlier in the game, Fenner did the same thing, but it wasn't that close. But I mean, he shot the gap and hit Matt as he was handing the ball off. But I mean, that was, you're talking about almost instantaneous, so that he was there.
3rd down and a long 6, short 7, and Matt Cross is sacked. The ball is loose, and Green will cover it and keep the ball for the Warriors. But now they'll be looking at 4th and long.
A nice job that time by Schuler, number 33, Tim. Coming in on the blind side, nobody picked him up.
Watch it, you'll see it here. Matt Cross never saw him coming.
And never had a chance, Tim. I mean, nobody protects your backside. You are in trouble.
Justin Green fortunate to fall on the ball and keep it in the Warriors' possession, but it brings up 4th down and a dozen.
Now, who we have punting?
We got Ralph King in deep punt formation. He did well last week, and he's got some wind behind him, so he'll kick he's got the wind behind him. He's got it end over end, and it rolls nicely for the Warriors all the way down to the Hampton 23-yard line.
And number 14, George Harris, got down there and made sure that there was not a run back.
37-yard kick and no return, so Ralph King does his job. And with just 46 seconds remaining, the Crabbers will have the ball now. This will just be the second possession of the 3rd quarter. Each team has had it once in the 3rd quarter, and we've used up almost all the time. Crabbers will start from their 23. Warriors penalties continue to haunt them as you look at Nathaniel Don't Rain on Me Braxton up there, and we've been very fortunate, haven't had rain any game this year. This is Banks, Alvin Banks, and he will cross the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Wind is actually kind of dying down a little bit, if that's plausible. I'm watching the ribbons. You see down here, it's just kind of fluttering to our left, and it's not near. I mean, when we first came out tonight, it was just a constant 20, 25 mile an hour wind. So you watch that replay. Next play will come with less than 16, 15, 14. We'll get play off. There you see Old Glory still blowing pretty well in the breeze.
Yeah.
This should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Wyatt wants to roll and pass. He does, completes the pass at the 40-yard line for a 1st down. And that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter as Johnny Pugh Jr. hauls in the pass at the 40.
Tim, number 42, Solomon Bassett, was about 5 yards from him. Both of those receivers were wide open.
And that is the final play of the 3rd quarter. So just as we had a score of 7-3 at halftime, neither team able to do much. Moved the ball, kept the ball for time-consuming drives as the camera works back up here. I'm going to hide behind this big stanchion.
You're going to hide?
I'm going to try.
It's a little hard to hide, Tim.
They'll hide us for it. Put that banner up. That'll do it.
Boy, you're making it. That's Sandy Foley doing that stuff.
Sandy Foley?
Sandy Foley. Andy Foley. Okay. Thank you, Andy.
That's Andy Foley. That's Bob.
That's Killen giving the peace sign.
Yeah, or something.
Or trying to make you with horns. I'm not sure which. Oh.
Well, it's hard to believe this football season is rapidly coming to an end, isn't it?
Sure is.
Game number 7 already. Next week, Kecoughtan, their evenings will just get tougher and tougher as they'll take on the Phantoms of Phoebus. Next Friday night right here, we'll be here. Hope you'll be here as well, as the Crabbers offense does not get the job done on the 1st down. They lose a couple of yards. Alvin Banks stopped for no play, no gain. Actually lost a yard. It's 2nd down and 11 back to the 39-yard line. Watch the replay. You're going to see the defense on the right side for the Warriors just jam this play up, and then the pursuit is right there to knock him backwards.
No hole for him.
Just a 7-3 contest. I don't think a lot of people would have thought Kecoughtan would play Hampton this tough. Now they go into a single wing, Bob. Look at this lineup.
Yep. All those blockers.
And Wyatt gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Got 1 yard. Give credit to Tommy Austin's defense. They've just played an outstanding ball game tonight.
If you're looking for floor covering, be it carpet, tile, or vinyl, call Pearls and Phoebus at 722-1907 for free estimates. They're located at 15 North Mallory.
I don't want to give you any, hints here, but my drink's colder than it was when I poured it. That's the problem. I had ice in there. The ice has actually gotten harder. 3rd down and 9. Play action. Got a man wide open. Completes the pass at the 44-yard line. Solomon Bassett. He is out of bounds at the 44.5, but that will move the chains for the Crabbers. That's quite a deceptive play.
Yeah, I was saying nice faking in the backfield. Watch this time. Nice faking right there, and Bassett coming out of the backfield, Tim.
Dropped the ball, but it was out of bounds when he did so, and it already maintained control long enough for it to be a catch. So they'll mark it at the Kecoughtan 45-yard line, and a 1st down for Hampton. They lead just by 4. This is Alvin Banks, and Banks will drive close to 5 yards.
I know Hampton would like to get a sustained drive going here, eat some clock up and score. Because you know and I know if you just let a team keep hanging around, a lot of things can happen as the time is running out.
Fumble and interception, and Kecoughtan's in the lead. 2nd down and 5 for the Crabbers. Andre McClone comes to the near side, wide out. Double wide to the left side. And this is Banks, Alvin Banks. And he spins, struggles for a couple of tough yards.
I tell you, he got a couple more after he was hit.
They'll mark his forward progress to the 37-yard line. 3rd down and 2 for the Crabbers. That's your replay here.
I tell you that where the play is designed to go, the Kecoughtan has blocked that hole, and they're having to find another route. Great defense.
Big play here for both teams. And now the Crabbers will take a timeout. That will be their first of the second half. They'll have 2 remaining, as do the Warriors. Comes with 9:13 to go in the 4th. Joined us late, the Warriors got on the board first with a 23-yard field goal by Ryan Miller to make it 3-0 with 11:10 to go in the half. And then the Crabbers went ahead with 4:05 to go in the half on a 1-yard run by Stephen Wyatt. The extra point by Aaron Whitehead made it 7-3, and that's where we stand as you look across the field to the Hampton side. And there you see the huddle for the Crabbers. 3rd down and 2 for the Crabbers. Big play here. If the Warriors can hold them and get the ball on downs, that's going to be a big play.
They really got 2 down.
Yeah, they're not going to kick the ball on 4th down and short if they don't get the 1st down here. You're absolutely right. And Banks will be very close to the 1st down, depending on the spot.
I don't think it was Banks, Tim. I believe it was a fullback, and it was Bassett.
Was it? Was it?
42. Solomon Bassett carried the ball.
It's right on the down marker. Yep. Well, see where he is? That looks like the ball is across the 45.
Yeah.
Or the 35, and they marked him on the 35.
Yeah, that was not a good spot.
And he did not get the 1st down as a result of that spot. Now, again, I won't say it wasn't a good spot because it's where the ball is when his knee touches down, and it's much easier for them down there to see where that was than we do. But it did appear that he didn't get as good a spot as he might have.
Well, in Kecoughtan's case, that was a good spot, and the Crabbers, that was not a good spot.
But the Crabbers, as you so alertly alluded to, are going for it on 4th and inches. Bob, by the way, I didn't get a chance to do my eagle eye on that. Bob said when I just missed it by inches.
Yeah, you can almost tell from where the ball was spotted and with the line there.
Wyatt, with a little help from his fullback, pushing the pile forward. Looks like he got the first down. If they just needed to cross the 40, the 35, then he did get the first down. But no signal as of yet.
Well, they've stopped the clock, so.
And they're going to look at it. It is a first down, but they're going to bring the chains. Oh, come on. Charlie. Charlie.
Charlie, that's a.
It's 2 feet past the 35-yard line, and the marker's at the 35.
Well, but see, the other team could ask for a measurement.
Bob wants a delay of game on the referee. So they did get the first down by the length of the football.
What color flag do we throw if it's on the official?
Throw a pink one. Throw your underwear or something. All right.
You got pink underwear?
No. Bob's the one who wants to throw the flag. Not me. All right. So a big first down for the Crabbers with 8:37, and the clock is moving here in the 4th quarter. Alvin Banks is in motion. Wyatt keeps it. A flag goes down. Now, was Wyatt a man in motion, or was he the 12th man? I believe that's going to be the call because
if he's on the field, he's the 12th man.
He was trying to get up, but he wasn't moving very quickly.
No.
I haven't counted any helmets yet, but I believe he was trying to get off the field.
I counted. There are 11 players.
Plus Banks, right?
Plus Banks.
So that'll be 5
illegal
yards
shift.
For
offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay first down.
I'm not sure he was the 12th, but in any event, the call. Can we pick up Banks in the? No, can't see him. He's just out of your screen. In any event, the penalty was for illegal shift. And it's 1st and 15 for the Crabbers. Stephen Wyatt rolling, looking, runs the ball, and he is knocked out of bounds shy of the 35-yard line. So almost got back to the original line of scrimmage.
That's Byron Tillery is playing linebacker, Tim, and he's just a sophomore.
So that stops the clock with 8:04 remaining in the 4th quarter. So loss on the play, 2nd down and about a dozen. And that same play that worked a moment ago when they needed a big gainer does the job again as the pass is completed to Bassett coming out of the backfield.
And, Tim, that's not only a nice catch on his part, but a tough pass by Wyatt running to the left.
Oh, yeah. Watch the replay. This is not an easy play to do. Play action and then throws it to Bassett, and Bassett's done a nice job of bringing the ball in on both of those plays. So first down at the Kecoughtan 18-yard line. Crabbers have had the ball a lot here in the second half, and that defense might be getting a little tired. This is Banks, spins away from a tackler, and then he's knocked down as he gets to the 15-yard line.
Tim, he was hit in the backfield and still picked up, what, a couple, 3 yards, it looks like.
Got 3 to the 15. Clock moving, 7:20 remains. Each team with 2 timeouts. Hampton 7, Kecoughtan 3. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and the Channel 46 crew. Hope you're enjoying a second game in a row now. We've had a close contest. Last week, Bethel in overtime, the victors. Tonight, the Crabbers having a tough time against a good Kecoughtan defensive team, and they're down inside the 10, close to the first down, but it'll be short by about a yard.
Well, what kind of confidence does this do for your team that you've won one game this year and 1-6, and you know they really are a better team than 1-6. They should have won at least a couple more games.
Third down and a short 2 or a long 1, however you want to do that. Well, it is. It's between
I know.
1.5 and 2.
Forget it, because it's what I'm thinking has nothing.
That is a first down as Alvin Banks carries for the first down, and that'll be 1st and goal at about the 6. So this is what Hampton wants to do. They're keeping the ball on the ground. They're moving the clock as it's restarted with 6:12 to go. And now they've got a 1st and goal, the ball just short of the Kecoughtan 6-yard line.
Isn't it funny tonight? I stressed the defense in our opening game, and defense is what's doing it.
On target. And this is a touchdown. One official finally signals it. That'll be about a 7-yard run. That was Alvin Banks, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, it's number 8.
So Alvin Banks puts it in the end zone from 6 yards out. And the Crabbers now can make it a 14-3 game as Aaron Whitehead will try the extra point. His kick is long enough, and it's good. So the Crabbers had their hands full here for the entire 3 quarters and almost a little more than half of the 4th as you watch the replay of the touchdown by Alvin Banks. Banks picked a spot on the right side and got just into the end zone. And the Crabbers now have a little breathing room with 5:49 remaining. And again, Tommy Austin's team potentially coming up short for the 2nd week in a row. But some superb effort. I'll tell you something, you know, I don't want to sound condescending, but these Warriors, we've seen them twice in a row now just come up and play their hearts out. Well, you know, it's tough. When you're on the wrong end of a 1-6 season, it's hard to get up and play for a full 4 quarters, but they certainly have, and my hats are off to them.
They have not only played for 4 full quarters, Tim, but they have played well.
Played 2 of the better teams, Bethel and now Hampton, and they'll, well, like I said, it won't get any easier next week as they'll take on the Phoebus Phantoms back here at Darling Stadium. That's Justin Green returning the kickoff to about the 27-yard line. So the Warriors down by 11, need 2 scores. And they'll be throwing into the wind, which really to this point in the game has not been a problem. The team with the wind has had more trouble throwing the ball accurately.
Yeah. I agree with you there, and Matt Cross is throwing the ball. He was 50. It was 6 of 12, I think, the first half, 50%. So you're doing a good job. We got a timeout here. I don't know what the.
Well, they had some confusion after the play, and of course, if you're Tommy Austin, that drives you crazy because you only had 2 timeouts left. You're coming out of a kick return. So, you know, you really should have known what you're going to call as you start this play. That's a very difficult situation to be in, to have to burn one of your 2 remaining timeouts.
But it's best you burn one rather than get there and make a mistake and it costs you some yardage or the ball or something.
Just a reminder that this 4th quarter brought to you in part by Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home, where Nancy Staten is the funeral director. They're located at the Hampton Center Parkway in North Armstead Avenue in Hampton. For a tour of their facility, give them a call or just stop by. They're at 827-4670. So now it's 1st down and 10 at the 27-yard line. The pitch, I thought they might have a trick play on. They got Thompson, the former quarterback, throwing, and it appears to be
intercepted. It is intercepted.
Yep. That is Andre Schuler. And Schuler is tripped up as he gets to the Kecoughtan 39-yard line. I started to say something when they had some confusion on coming out of that kickoff. I think they might have gotten confused as to just what they were going to play.
I had a feeling that because Matt Cross and Tommy and Terrence Thompson were both talking to each other, just as you said, and it's a pitch, but it didn't look like a run at all, and it did not fool any of the defensive backs for the Crabbers.
Well, in any event, the ball is at the Kecoughtan 39-yard line, and we've had another timeout called. We have I don't see an injured player.
Well, they moved the ball forward. It looks like it's at the 38.
Well, we do have a shaken-up player. Okay, I couldn't see. He's on the near sideline, and our view of the injured player was obscured, so I see that now. It's not a timeout, but in fact an injury, and hopefully the young man who's shaken up is going to be all right. Taking their time, and I believe Scotty's
well, that's Tommy
Hammond, number 52, is the injured player, so we're glad to see him getting up.
I just got the wind knocked out of him, Tim, but the ball is, they moved the ball from the 39 to the 38 while you were talking.
So. Cost him a yard for being hurt in the play, I guess.
Well, either that or they're trying to catch you. He said 39, let's move it. Yeah. So he'll be wrong.
All right.
The word is out on your eagle eyes, and they heard you talking bad about Charlie Davidson.
No, I wasn't talking bad about Charlie.
You said you told him, Charlie, go ahead, it's the first down.
Trying to keep the game going. It was easy to see. Now we have a timeout called, so now Hampton will delay the game, if you will. Is that a delay of game on Hampton, Bob? Well, they're delaying the game. Bob was a little upset about the fact that he wants to change the rule on delays of game. In the first half, we had a couple of those called, and he wants to say that the clock should continue to run when there's a delay of game. It penalizes the team that's on defense. If the offense is called for delay of game, they should just let the clock continue to run. I'm not sure why he said that.
I'm not sure why either.
If the time is critical, then you can give the time back to them. Say he was talking to one of these upstairs sideline officials, trying to get them change the rule at halftime.
Change the rule at halftime?
He was trying to get the rule changed at halftime. He was campaigning big time. All right. The timeout called by Hampton. That leaves each team with one timeout. There's a youngster sitting in the stands saying, man, this is fun. I'm freezing to death, Dad. Put my hat on me.
She's saying, wait a minute. Mama didn't have one on. Bassett on the handoff, Tim. Actually, I think he tripped over one of his linemen's feet.
Bob also has one other rule change. If the official throws an inadvertent flag, he's ejected. Here's.
I can imagine. Well, watch. I believe he trips over. Yeah, he did.
Tripped over his own lineman.
Yeah. But if he throws an inadvertent flag, what?
The official throws an inadvertent flag is ejected.
He's ejected.
That's right. For delay of game.
Oh, what about an inadvertent whistle?
Same thing, I guess.
The official should be ejected.
All right, we'll get back to the serious game at hand here as Wyatt with the
nice shuffle
pass to Banks. Banks picking his way, finds some openings, and finally is taken down, but not until he gets to the 21-yard line. Another first down and another shaken up player, a Warrior down. A couple of them now. Got two Warriors on that play. And let's see. I believe that's Andrew Allen, number 7, is the first one on the left of your screen. And then the other injured player is 45, Ed Ross. As you watch the replay, let's see if we can see what happens.
Nice job of using your blockers, Tim.
Or is that Manny Anderson? I can't see whether 7 or 8.
No, I can't tell from here.
Well, I got 2 for 1 on that one as Ed Ross injured about 15 yards further downfield. That's the Ed Ross you see in your picture now. So hopefully these young men are just shaken up. Odd to see 2 players. Yeah, I think it is Manny Anderson. Okay, yes, they're going to roll him over. That's.
Now you see the wind blowing the tarp over there, and you said it's quit blowing.
No, it wasn't blowing as consistently as it was before.
Look who's inside. Look who's inside.
Who's manning his camera if he's inside? Ed Ross is up, we're glad to say. He seems to be okay. But Manny Anderson's still down and shaken up. And he's just been an outstanding ball player for these Warriors. The last 2 games we've seen, Manny Anderson's just been playing extremely well. So hopefully he'll be all right. They're going to help him sit up now.
Manny plays one of those inside linebackers and just does a great job.
So he's going to come off a little woozy, and hopefully none the worse for wear. He's not limping, so that's always a good sign. But might have just gotten his bell rung, but glad to see both he and Ed Ross are able to come off under their own power, so that's good news. He's not doing all that well, though. I've seen he's got it looked like one of the coaches indicated he got his bell rung, so he's also favoring that left side, it looks like, too. Back to the live action now. The Crabbers, this is Banks, and Banks will run right up the middle and into the end zone for a touchdown from 21 yards out. So the Crabbers add a couple of Alvin Banks touchdowns here late in the fourth quarter to break this game open.
Tim, I venture to say that ball went over where Manny Anderson normally plays.
Well, I just don't. I think Kecoughtan was perhaps a little disoriented and probably a little deflated at this point, knowing that they had played so well for such a long period of the game, and now see themselves down 20-3 with Aaron Whitehead trying to make it 21. His kick is up and it is good. So Aaron Whitehead makes it a 21-3 game. So that score only took 1 minute and 20 seconds for the Crabbers to add to their score.
Watch this run, Tim. Just a draw play.
Yeah, but he had lots of running room, and no problem. Banks 89 yards on 18 carries and 2 touchdowns tonight. He's been outstanding for the Crabbers in recent weeks.
I'll tell you, we had some just tremendous individuals tonight.
Yeah, for some reason, and I'm not sure why, but Banks only carried the ball 3 different times in the first half. And now he's added 15 carries in the second half and has a total of 89 yards rushing. So the Crabbers break it open 21-3 now with 4:26 remaining in the contest. This one's taken by Justin Green. Did he put his knee down? No, I guess not.
If he did, it was.
If he did, it was before he had control of the ball. So Green gets pushed out of bounds. Yeah, Ron Baton almost got it. I hope we have that live. Is it coming right towards Baton? Ron keeping.
Well, he showed he's pretty nimble at foot.
Looks like we have a penalty flag down. Officials discussing something. Let's see. Watch the play here. See Green.
Tim, I believe his knee was down.
Real close. Got a clipping call against the Crabbers.
Baton knew where to go. Clipping against the Crabbers.
Well, that's what they've indicated, and of course that's odd because they're not the returning team, but that was the call.
Block in the back maybe, but not clipping.
He indicated clipping, right? He might have just pointed in the wrong direction. I'm not sure. He's pointing against Hampton and saying clipping.
I don't understand, but
I don't know how the kicking team can clip. That's first on me. I'm not saying that it's not something that can be called, but I don't recall a kicking team being called for clipping before.
No, that's a new one for me.
In any event, the ball is marked at the 36-yard line. I bet you Charlie gives me a call.
Well, I hope he calls and lets you know because
Well, I'm not saying it can't happen. I just don't ever recall seeing it. Now we've got the timeout being called by the Warriors. So out of a kickoff return again, Kecoughtan has to use, this time, their final timeout.
Bob's trying to get delay a game against the officials or what?
We got to mic him because, no, I don't think we should.
No, I don't. That may be a mistake. It'd be like putting the microphone and leaving it open for McCoolin.
That was Bob that said that, by the way. I just want that to be perfectly clear.
Mick knows I say that in jest.
There you
but
see,
he does a good job.
The wind's still a factor.
Yeah, you're saying that wind to slow down?
Well, that's above the stadium, so that's where you're going to get a much more substantial breeze. But yeah, it's still blowing pretty well. But see the little ribbons on the see the crossbars blowing in the breeze.
I mean, if the crossbars are bending, does that mean
a sign?
It's usually a sign of a pretty heavy wind?
Not a good sign. So now we've got appears to be yet another penalty and unsportsmanlike conduct. Yeah, we've got a swirling wind because we've got one end is blowing in one direction down to our right, and then at the other end it's. But now they're going to mark off 15 against Hampton for unsportsmanlike.
We have a dead ball.
And that may have been on the bench.
On White, 15 yards, first down.
Just at this point, delaying the inevitable. You see the flags on the end zone. Okay, back to the game at hand here. Out of the shotgun, one of the rare times tonight Cross has used that, and that one's tipped and almost intercepted. Couldn't quite get the handle on it. That was Darylyn Fenner who had a shot at it. So that stops the clock with 4:12 remaining. Watch the replay here. You're going to see the ball tipped as and that was
big 78 got
78. That's Jonathan Carroll who got a hand on it. Carroll at 6'2", 250 got up pretty well.
Well, the linemen are taught, Tim, if you can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up, make it tough for him to see, or maybe you can tip the ball.
Trips to the near side for the Warriors, and again, Cross out of the gun will swing it out to the near side to Justin Green, and Green tries to cut back across the grain. And the ball got loose, and Backus recovered it. Green is slow to get up. He's shaken up on the play. Now he's okay.
He fumbled at it about the 45. They picked up about 8 yards on the fumble.
That's a play they might want to put in the book.
That's a little dangerous play.
Hey, watch this. You see the replay. One camera will have this shot of the initial play. You're going to see the flare pass. That was almost a lateral. Almost a lateral. You see he's going to fumble it right there. And no, we stay with the same camera. But they got it in any event. Cross throwing. Receiver knocked down or fell down. I'm not sure which. But the intended receiver was Andrew Allen, number 7. When the ball was in the air, he was lying on the turf.
Yeah, I don't know if he got knocked down or tripped or fell down on his cut.
Other. In any event, the incomplete pass makes it 2nd down and 10 at the Hampton 37-yard line with 3:38 left in the contest. 21-3 in favor of Hampton. Game was a 7-3 game until just 5:49 left in the 4th quarter. 2 quick touchdowns by the Crabbers have broken this game over. This time, Andrew Allen does make the grab at the Hampton 20, and the ball comes loose. And the Crabbers,
I believe they got it.
Appeared to have recovered it if, in fact, it was a fumble. And the officials say it is a Hampton recovery. So Hampton now with the ball and an 18-point lead with 3:26 remaining should be able to run the clock out. Watch the replay here. You'll see the pass completion. And that ball ripped out, and that was 38 that did that for the Crabbers. Let me pick up that the young man's name is to be determined. I don't have a 38.
I don't have a 38. You sure it was 38, 133?
Well, it might be. Let's give it to Schuler in the event that we misread the number. It looked like it was 38 on the replay, but I don't know that for certain at this point. In any event, the ball came loose, and Hampton has it with just a little more than 3 minutes left. Can't wait to get up to Zooms and get me some hot chocolate, if nothing else.
Oh,
pour it all over
for
that.
A nice
pour it all over that piece of pizza.
Have me a nice big warm cup of coffee.
That's Beantown coffee to you.
And to you.
And to you. Wyatt on the keeper gets nothing. Might have lost a yard.
Well, he was going to follow the young man he faked the handoff to, but the Warriors just collapsed on him.
That Kecoughtan defense has been on the field a lot here in the second half. And
they really have.
But they just played outstanding football. We got a couple of players of the game to talk about here.
Yes, we do.
A little less than 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Clock moving. Hampton in no hurry. Got a 3rd down and 8. They'd love to pick up first down here and just finish the game with the ball. They could just run it out.
Well, you know, what's been very successful for them has been that pass to the fullback coming out of the backfield.
I just don't think they want to put the ball in the air, but they're going to have to, and that's the pass they try. And this time it's overthrown to Bassett. You were absolutely on target with the call. Unfortunately for Hampton, they were not on target with the pass. So they'll have to kick the ball with 1:54 on the clock and 4th down and about 8. I say they'll have to kick it. They could choose not to, but it looks like Whitehead will come on to do just that. Players of the game, Bob?
Well, I'm going with number 11, Matt Cross. I think he's done a great job running quarterback, throwing the ball tonight for the Warriors. And for the Crabbers, Stephen White's been the difference in the game offensively for the Crabbers.
Look at that punt. With a little help from the wind, all the way down to the 11-yard line.
That was kicked from the 31.
So, Bob, how far was that punt? The 31 to the 11.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe 55. Wake him up over there. I think his brain froze.
He was checking out this napkin or something.
The napkin, is that the $2 napkin?
Well, the 31 was the line of scrimmage, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that would have been 19 from this direction. 57 yards. Thank you, Bud. 1:41 left on the clock.
He got his abacus running.
And the ball comes loose. And the Warriors recover it. Justin Green had it ripped out of his hands as he kind of ran into a guy, and the ball just popped out.
Corey C. Davis, what they call Big Corey, 6'4", 320, pounded on the ball.
Watch this, you're going to see it. He just got a hand on it. So they recover the ball, but clock continues to move with the $1:12 on the clock. And they have no timeouts.
$1:12.
$1:12. Cross gives to Alan Backus, and Backus out to about the 13. Clock continues to move with less than a minute now. So our players of the game, coincidentally, happen to be the quarterbacks for the game. Matt Cross from Kecoughtan and Stephen Wyatt from Hampton, although both of these young men do play defense as well.
Well, I don't think Matt played defense tonight.
You don't think he did?
No.
Thought I saw him on defense one time.
Well, he may have been, but normally he was playing safety, but when you got him starting quarterback, they probably want to rust him.
This is Thompson. Terrence Thompson out close to the 15, and that might have been the last play of the ball game as we were down to 15 seconds. And, of course, Kecoughtan cannot stop the clock. So the Warriors' record will fall to 1-7, and the Crabbers will improve their record to 7-1. And, again, I don't want to sound condescending, but Kecoughtan played their hearts out once again and came up on the short side. But you keep playing with that kind of intensity and that kind of determination, and you'll win some ball games.
Yes, you will.
So our players of the game, Matt Cross from Kecoughtan and Stephen Wyatt from the Hampton Crabbers. As you see the two teams congratulating each other at the center of the field, something that's always nice to see, the show of good sportsmanship. And we'll wrap it up here with the reference to our sponsors for tonight. I want to thank Zooms with 14 Peninsula locations to serve you. The game brought to you by Pearls at 15 North Mallory in Phoebus. Give them a call. Well, I'll slow down now as I was waiting, but
your friendly neighborhood store.
There you go. And then the final sponsor tonight was Park Lawn Wood Funeral Home at the Hampton Center Parkway at Armstead Avenue, 827-4670. Final score again is Hampton 21 and Kecoughtan 3. For Bob Hintz and Bob Killen, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.